Welcome back, guys, to another emergency episode of PRAVDA. Here we are, part 2 in 1940, and we have interesting developments before you. Well, we're almost at the end of 1940. The Americans still have yet to do their turn, but as you can see, the Italians have an empire from Tripolitania all the way down to Eritrea, connecting the Nubian, Eastern, Western, and Transjordan provinces, all under the Italian banner. But wait, that's not all. Malta has just fallen too. Mussolini just must be grinning ear to ear in Rome right now. I would be, definitely. And especially right now, they have the entire Italian Navy off Alexandria to show their might towards the British Empire. So I have no idea what the British or the Free French are doing right now, but the Abyssinians have decided to join in the battle. Selassie has decided to help his people see the light of the Free French resistance, and we might see a battle now between the forces in Nubia and down here in Italia, Somaliland, attacking the Free French. As a Soviet Politburo, I almost hope that happens, because we need to see these Italian forces start going down and attacking the capitalist West, because our Red Banner forces may be needed for a potential Eastern war between the fascists of Hitler and the wonderful socialist government under Stalin. Over here, we see an interesting push. We have the Free French pushing eastward, almost to link up with the Abyssinians with their new medium armor and infantry. But somehow they are leaving their new capital in French Sudan dangerously exposed. I wonder if Charles de Gaulle is even there. With the Vichy approaching, that may fall sooner rather than later. And of course, in the Atlantic, we have U-boats galore. 124 and U-47 are off the coast of Africa, along with her sister, U-25, which was a Type 9 U-boat, and down here, U-571. There are 4 U-boats currently lurking off the western African coast, and on top of that, we have 4 U-boats up here in the North Atlantic, potentially trying to block Lend-Lease to Europe. So, right now we have seen the Revenge, the HMS Revenge, right here, and her escort vessels trying to put a stop to this, as well as another escort battle group with the HMS Hood. And on top of that, we have still the HMS Nelson and her fleet keeping the German Navy at bay from breaking out into the North Atlantic. 2 Russian subs from the glorious Russian Empire up here do exist in the North Atlantic. More so probably to protect this Soviet convoy line, since the Americans are gracious to send Lend-Lease to the Russians against the war with the lovely Italians. Bad news over here in the Pacific, which also concerns the Russians, because not only do the Russians have to worry about the Italians, they have to worry about the Japanese, because the Japanese are right now currently entrenched in India. They now own the ports of Calcutta and Bombay, which have factory production in both areas, as well as they've moved north into Benares. And I just can't get my pointer right. That's okay. Too much vodka tonight. Nonetheless, so we have to worry about this potential growth here of Japanese expansion, but our potential allies, the Americans, might be able to help with us. We have the Enterprise, the Anzio, and these 2 American ships coming on over here, possibly to put some pressure on the Japanese. But the Japanese in kind are also bringing their battle fleet here from the Bay of Bengal up here off the coast of the South China Sea. So that, with several escort ships and convoy ships, makes it a very active battle zone here in the Western Pacific. Japanese planes have engaged down here, but yet British and Far East Command and Australian ships have managed to escape. And the Australian Navy, with the battle cruiser the New South Wales has actually been slowly developing, and they might be quite a force come as the months and years progress. So we'll see what happens there. On the home front, well, Russia is depleted from the war with Mongolia, even though that is all fell to the Mongolian Empire. We have to make sure that the Japanese, even though they have not reinforced here, that we keep the status quo or at least go above and beyond. But that is tough right now because now the Soviet Empire has to worry about Iran and Iraq and occupy those territories since they are worth a victory in this game. Plus, the great Russian people want to see the Sovetski Soyuz completed here in Sevastopol, and only one more turn will do, and the Russians will have the most advanced battleship in and on all the 7 seas. Probably with all the nations in the world, the Sovetski Soyuz will probably be one of the best battleships, unless some other nation decides to build a fast or heavy battleship. But this will be the most modern battleship on the field. Further north, we are slowly, and I mean slowly, developing our attack or our defense, one or the other. We have air transports, we have motorized units, we have Katyushas, anti-tank divisions, we have self-propelled divisions, medium armor, T-34 of the 85 variety, slowly being developed here. But we have enemies, or possible enemies, in the north with those darn Finns, as well as the Germans that have engulfed most of Europe, but those darn Italians and the Japanese. So Russia very much does stand alone in the center of the map. We can only hope the Americans in the Pacific under Nimitz and over here under Eisenhower in the Atlantic will do something to change this circumstance. The British were lucky enough to gain back the British Midlands last turn, and we can only hope that they'll hold. But right now, I don't think anything can stop the German onslaught right here in Europe. If they want London, they can take it, because London can fall, which means they will have to move their capital probably either to Ottawa or Cape Town down here. But if they don't, or if they do, nonetheless, they'll lose their income this turn. So these are trying times for the Commonwealth right now. They've already lost one capital in Calcutta, another crown jewel, Cairo, and the Eastern Egyptian territories, as well as a very strategic port with Malta. What's next? What is next? Hong Kong even fell, and that was very important, not as much as Singapore, but that may be next, potentially, if the Americans possess enough of a threat. Anyways, guys, this is Panzer King signing off on another episode of Pravda. Hopefully you enjoyed this, my analysis of how the Soviet Empire may come through absolute victory. Take care, everyone, and see you again.